Hello and welcome to The Big Story, where we'll discuss the top news of today and explain why it matters. I'm Dylan Ang, coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom. 2 soldiers were sentenced for their roles in the incident leading to the death of actor Aloysius Pang after they pleaded guilty in a military court today. The 2 men who were in the howitzer at the time are military expert 2 Ivan Teo Ji Siang and 3rd Sergeant Hubert Wah Yun Ting. Corporal First Class Aloysius Pang died in January after being caught between the back of the gun barrel and in the interior of the howitzer cabin during a live firing exercise in New Zealand. ME2 Teo faced 3 charges, while 3rd Sergeant Wah faced 2 of negligent act endangering life under the SAF Act. The 2 men had the charges read to them at the SAF's Court Martial Centre at Kranji Camp 2. They were fined $7,000 and $8,000 respectively. Here with us to discuss this is Sunday Times editor Eugene Wee. Hi Eugene.
Hi.
Eugene, welcome to the show. Eugene, could you perhaps first recap for our audience why this trial was held in a military court and not in the High Court?
Basically, it's because the accident happened overseas during a SAF live firing exercise. So the Singapore Police didn't have jurisdiction to investigate. So the investigations were actually conducted by the SAF Special Investigation Branch, or SIB. And based on their investigation, the Chief Military Prosecutor actually advised that they prosecute the 2 SAF servicemen based on the military proceedings.
Right. Now, could you explain to us the difference between a military court as well as a civilian one?
So the military court deals mainly with offences under the Singapore Armed Forces Act, which includes things like absence without leave, AWOL, and insubordination, things like that. So if you're tried in military court, your conviction records not necessarily will go into your civilian record. So for example, if you commit a crime or commit a offence in SAF, that stays in your SAF record, except for maybe more serious offences like rape and drug trafficking. Those will move to your civilian record.
Right. So speaking of the severity of crimes, could you shed some light, on how the judge decided on the fines? Okay,
so there were a few factors that he took into consideration based on his judgment. So first, he considered that both servicemen pled guilty, so he gave that some weight. Secondly, they had a very clean service record, so they had no prior convictions or any major problems with their performance. He also took into consideration the submissions by both the defence and the prosecutions with respect to the sentencing. So, for example, 3rd Sergeant Hubert Wah, he faced 2 charges, one of causing death by negligent act, and the other one was endangering life under the SAF Act.
I see.
So, for that, the defence had actually asked for a fine. I think there was a jail term involved at the maximum case, but the defence asked for a fine. And the prosecution also asked for a fine of $8,000. And in addition to that, a demotion to corporal. So that was the sentence that he got, $8,000 fine and a demotion to corporal. For ME Ivan Teo, he had 1 charge of disobedience of general orders and 2 charges of negligent act under the SAF Act. So the defence had asked actually for a $3,000 fine, but prosecution asked for a higher fine, which is $7,000. So that's what he got. The difference between the 2 of them, $8,000 versus $7,000, and the demotion is because Hubert Wah was deemed to have been have a more direct. The act that he did was that caused the death of Aloysius Pang. So that's why he got a bit of a higher.
Now, Eugene, just to end off, what were some of the lessons learned from this unfortunate incident? Did it change any SOPs in the SAF to prevent future things like from happening?
Yes, so across the army, that led to a very big change in terms of the way safety was viewed. One of the biggest changes was they actually appointed a brigadier general to become the inspector general for safety. So his job is to oversee safety for all of SAF, and he has powers to investigate and audit safety, all the safety SOPs in all the units. So the army leadership has taken a very, very serious look at all kinds of safety issues, to the extent that they are encouraging things like reporting near misses, open reporting, so that they can learn from all these near misses and implement new things to help keep the safety culture in SAF very strong.
Right. All right, thanks Eugene for sharing more about this.
Thanks.
If you'd like to read the full story, head on down to our website at straitstimes.com.